Now, these are just parts of something that I'm putting together. More than likely, that video. Whew, I'm not even sure if I can even put that on here with some of the stuff that I got. Um, but I'll figure out something, right? But I just, in a sense, wanted to talk about or cover some of these things because it's going to be a longer formed video that I'll do a little bit later once I have everything in a sense set. Now, some of the things that you're able to see here are up top. We'll start directly down with Balenciaga statement, right? They stated that we sincerely apologize for any offense our holiday campaign may have caused. Our plush bear bags should not have been featured with children in this campaign. We have immediately removed the campaign from all platforms. We apologize for displaying unsettling documents in our campaign. We take this matter very seriously and are taking legal action against the parties responsible for creating this set and including unapproved items for our spring 23 campaign photo shoot. We strongly condemn anything that takes place negatively with children in any form. We stand for children's safety and well being. All right, so you might be wondering why they made an apology and stated that they had unsettling documents that were displayed in a photograph, right? So this is the photograph at hand, right? To a lot of people, it would just be obviously a mess of a room, right? And then you see the bag that is the centerpiece. But if you look beyond the bag, you'll see a lot of the other things that are there. One of the documents is page 11 from the Supreme Court of the United States, which is um, well, matter of fact, I'm not even going to say it. The document is directly right there in front of you because I ain't trying to trigger nothing by YouTube or anything like that. So you can happen to pause the video and you can, directly put it into your phone and you can read specifically what the document entails and what specifically it is about. And the reason why that is so important is due to the fact that you have Balenciaga, who on more than one occasion has put out some pretty questionable advertisements dealing with minors in certain predicaments or whatever it is. So this is just adding a little bit more fuel to those flames. But like I said before, you'll have some people say that, oh, that's just a conspiracy. You guys are just looking too far deep into it. No problem. Hold my beer. So going back to the first image that I introduced you guys to where it had four pictures, right? And all four of those pictures had some information directly in it, right? This is another piece of that puzzle, right? The image that you see is that of Baal, right? Baal is an old deity, an old god that people would worship and sacrifice their firstborn on. If you don't believe me, you can go look up the information or read it directly from the screen. Either which way, it is what it is. You're not going to be arguing with me. You'll be arguing with what's in black and white. And proof of what I am talking about is the fact of if you look at one of the ads of Balenciaga where it has a child directly in there, the yellow tape that you see there is not spelling Balenciaga properly. It says Baal, and then it'll go into the Intiaga. But here in this image, right, this is a picture of Kim Kardashian, and they are making a Balenciaga tape, costume, apparel, whatever it is, right? This is fashion, right? So when you look at the Balenciaga, right, it's spelled Balencia, right? So you can pretty much see, right, what it is, right? The other part was cut off, but y'all know what I'm saying. You can pretty much see how it is spelled, right? But when you just so happen to look at these side by side, right, you can clearly see that there is something afoot. You can clearly see that there is something directly wrong, right? Now, some people, oh, well, somebody could have digitally altered this. There's a whole bunch of spoofs and a whole bunch of fakes directly online. How do we know that any of this is even real or anything like that? This could all just be, made up and yada, yada, yada. As I stated before, Balenciaga gave some type of fake apology, basically trying to admit and not admit at the same time that they are in the wrong and that this is what they're about and this is specifically what they're doing. If a person is truthful and not wrong in any way, shape, or form, then why would somebody give an apology? When you happen to give an apology, such as a corporation like this, for something that we are able to see visually with our own eyes, that is them admitting some type of fault. So, yet again, for those out there that want to stay in the back and everybody, oh, this is just conspiracy. This is just, people believing, all of these other types of things, secret societies and all this other, you guys are loony, you guys are this, you guys are that. You really need your heads checked. Well, you might want to specifically look into the corporations that you align yourself with and try to dig a little bit deeper in to see what it is that they are really about. Not just talking about the information that you can see in black and white when they write a couple of stories about them, but go into allegations, go into lawsuits, go into, what some people that are not really in the limelight and that aren't really associated with them, listen to what it specifically is that they are saying about these corporations and why it is that they are saying these things about these corporations. Like I said before, stop being dismissive and trying to label everybody crazy just because you don't want to take out the time to specifically dive deep into the information that people are putting directly in front of you. All right, so the last image of this video, right? Going back into the whole thing dealing with kids, right? So in green, it's telling you to look up Michael Borson, right? Why is that important? In one of the other Balenciaga ads, you see yet again a woman office. It looks a mess. You see books. The whole main centerpiece is the woman in the bag and all this other type of stuff. If you zoom in, look directly to the left, right of that picture, you will see a book and it has the name Michael Bormans directly on it. If you happen to look up the types of books and the types of artistry that he does, right, you'll come up and you'll find a book called Fire from the Sun. Why is that important? We can go directly to the bottom. It says the first in the series of small format publications devoted to two single bodies of work. Fire from the Sun highlights Michael Borsman's new work, which features toddlers engaging in playful and mysterious acts with sinister overtones and insinuations of violence. So, yet again, this is going back into the whole thing dealing with Balenciaga, dealing with the kids, dealing with the imagery and the different things that they are specifically putting out there by using the images of children in ads that are specifically marketed towards adults. There is nothing realistically in Balenciaga. You might have some kids shoes, but realistically, everything in Balenciaga is for adults. It's for older people. It's not for children. So to literally have ads where you have a child laying there on a couch and she's looking towards the camera, and in the view of that, you see four wine glasses that look like they've already been drank out of, on top of the fact that they are advertising some of the other things that they're selling. That's a very questionable type of marketing ad to show a child there laying on a couch looking at the viewer, and you see four glasses of alcohol that have been drank. It's very questionable. Everything is very questionable. Like I said before, shout out to all the people in my life that have ever called me a conspiracy theorist to try to basically shoo away all of the things that I have said because I just simply wanted to question. And that's the main thing that a lot of people like to do. Whenever they want to call you or label you as a conspiracy theorist, they're telling you to stop questioning. That's all that is. That's a way for people to tell you to shut up, right? And this is what happens when people decide not to question the things that seem a bit off or to seem odd or that are really completely obvious. Like I said to you before, Balenciaga for the longest time have been making it acceptable. They've already been preconditioning and programming people to be accepting of certain types of lifestyles or things that are directly out there. In one of the ads, they had a lot of things dealing with BDSM, and it was like a holiday setting. And that's another way for them to condition people to be used to certain things. You have certain television shows like American Horror Story, where a lot of the symbolisms, a lot of the advertisements and different things of that nature deal and delve into the BDSM culture. And originally, people were thrown off by it, but now people are used to it because they're looking at it from an entertainment type of perspective instead of looking at it as like, yo, they're really trying to condition us to look at this as being normal, right? For us to be accepting of this. Like I said, there's a multitude of ways for advertisers to get past a lot of the mental blocks that were already instilled in us by way of our families and our parents. And that's all that advertisers do. They work on psychological aspects in different ways and avenues on how to get over, get under, or to break down all of those barriers so that they can control what your perception is of certain things in society. But, anyways, like I said before, if anybody want to come down in this video and they want to argue the points that I've had, argue with the information that I specifically gave you, and then come directly after my point. If you're not going to take out the time to literally look up any of the information that I literally put directly in front of you, we ain't having no conversation.